And welcome to my channel. I am Mary McCarthy. This channel is Husky Creations, and on this channel we talk about biology all the time. I am a biology teacher. I have been a biology teacher for 17 years. I have a teacher's paid teacher store where you can get every single resource that I am talking about here. But if you don't want to pay for it, that is why I created this YouTube channel, and I'm going to teach you how to create these resources. Today we are going to create one of my most popular resources with my students, and it is a coloring worksheet. I call it Color with a Purpose. This is Frosty the Snowman, and what the students have to do is match the definition on a separate worksheet that I give them to the term on Frosty, and then they color it in. Now, Christmas is over, depending on when you're watching this, but Christmas is over. But you can do this with any other type of clip art. The clip art that we are going to use today has to do with like winter sports because we're still in the winter season, and we are going to be creating a coloring worksheet for the cell cycle because that is the activity and the unit that I am going to be doing next. So let's do this. Let's create a color with a purpose. Here we go. I am going to flip the screen around so that you can follow along. You can either create one right with me, or you can watch the video now, save it, and use all the information later to create a color with a purpose. Okay, so to get started, I opened up Google Drive. I am going to be creating this in Google Slides. You can also create it in PowerPoint, but I prefer Google Slides for this. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go up, I'm going to change the page setup because this is going to be a printable worksheet. So custom, I'm going to do 11 by 8.5 because I want it to be portrait. There we go. I'm going to get rid of this theme. We don't need it. I'm going to get rid of these text boxes. Again, we don't need it. Next thing, before I even start, I always make a text box and list all of the key terms that I'm going to include on this worksheet. So we are dealing with the cell cycle. So the first key term is going to be the cell cycle. I am going to speed this up so you do not have to watch me type every single key term. Okay, whenever I create an activity like this, I like to have between 10 and 12 key terms. I have 13, so that is good. I am just going to make these larger. This page does not have to be pretty. This is going to get deleted, okay? So there we go. Those are all of the key terms that I'm going to use for this activity. Now I'm going to make a new slide. Again, get rid of these text boxes. And I'm going to add a background. So winter themed background. I get all of my backgrounds from Teachers Pay Teachers. So you can do the same. Just go up to desktop. I'm just finding my backgrounds. There we go. Winter borders. Winter borders. I want a black and white one because this is going to be printed. The berries works well. A little note. I originally, when I was doing this, like on Frosty, you have a border that you can color in. It's all mittens. I stopped doing that because if I had a border that had to be colored in, that meant I have to color in the border. And it was driving me crazy. And after so many of these activities, I said, okay, no more color it in the border. So you can include a border that they have to color in, but you don't have to. So next thing I did, I just copied the slide. So this first slide, this is where we are going to put the images where the students are going to color. The second slide will be the table with the definitions and the corresponding colors. So now we need some clip art. We need something for them to color. Again, all of my clip art comes from Teachers Pay Teachers. You can find really good clip art on there. Some of it is free, some of it you have to pay for. I'm going to pick some holiday penguins. In a lot of the clip art, you can see this one is in color and this one is black and white. So I'm going to pick the black and white one. There we go. And then just to reposition him, and let me insert a buddy for him. Let's see, what does this one look like? Okay, that one has a scarf. I try to pick ones that will have more options for students to color. Okay, I like this guy. He's holding coffee. I always need coffee. So we're going to do the coffee guy, and we're going to get rid of him. I want to replace him with somebody with a couple more coloring options than just a plain penguin. So yeah, this guy looks good. There we go. And now I just resize just to make sure like they're almost the same height. Whoops, let me go back. Okay. Okay, that is good. Now I insert a header and I use a word art so that they can color it. I like to name them something fun. So I'm going to call these two Winter Friends. Place this up here. I don't really like that font. So let's see what Lexand looks like. Not a fan of that either. Let's see. I know the font is not that big of a deal for this, but I just need to change it. Okay, I like that one better. Just resize this. Bring this over a little bit. Just touching the border, and I didn't like that. Okay. Because I want them to be able to color in the header, let me reselect this header. I just go up here, the fill color, and I'm going to make that white. The border color, I would like it a little darker. See, it's the dark gray that was selected, so I'm going to select the black. Let's see, make it 2 point. There we go. That looks much better. Next thing we have to do, all of these terms, we place them onto the penguins. So I'll show you how I start this off. So I just select text box, selects where I want it to go. The first term is cell cycle. I set everything up with its first text box, how I want all of the others. Oops. Right, there we go. I want the font to be Lexand for all of them, and the font size will be 12. So I place him where I want him to go. And then what I do for all of the other parts, I Command C, Command V, drag it to where I want it, and then type it in. So our next key term is mitosis. And then same thing. I just hit Control, oops, let me back that up. I have to deselect, hit Control V. And let me show you. So see how this one, you have the vertical lines running through the term. The next term is G1 phase. So let me type the term first. It's kind of difficult to see. You can't really see the G1 phase because of this vertical line. So what I do in situations like this, like I'll have the same problem over here, not really on the coffee cup. I'll show you what I'll do there. I go up here and fill color, I select white. Now it takes away those vertical lines and it's just easier to see. If you want, I could have put like G1 phase, then G2 phase, then G1, G2. That's just a lot of extra coloring. That is an option though. I just prefer to make the scarf all one color. When it's very small like this, so let me show you. So cell cycle, there are two different ways you can do this. Okay, this is not going to be able to be seen even if I make it super tiny. Okay, I guess it can kind of be seen. So you could do it like this, where you reduce the font size. So now this cell cycle is at a font size of 8, or I bring it out here, My next term is G2. So I will write G2. And this back up to size 12 font. Turn it so it's normal and it's not tilted. And then I add arrows. So I go up here, I select arrow, and I will draw an arrow from G2 phase to this first section. Then I will draw another arrow. You have to deselect. And draw up to the next one, deselect, and then draw a third arrow. So that is how I get away with the areas that are very, very tiny. So I just draw lines to it. Our next term is S phase. Let's see, let's make their little feeties S phase. There we go. And I want him to have matching feet. So this little foot is also going to be S phase. And oops, I don't want that bolded. And if you haven't guessed it already, S phase is going to be orange. Okay, and one more foot. And I'm going to leave their beaks alone for right now because I may need another color. I may not. So yes, they could have orange beaks, or because I can do whatever I want since it's my worksheet, they may have a different color. Okay, I am going to speed up the next couple of seconds so you don't have to watch me type and place all of the other key terms. So now the terms are all on there. I did not use one term. I did not use interphase, and that is okay with me. If you wanted to, you can just add in, like if the penguins had maybe a different color face, but that is just something I did not want to do. So that is okay with me. I will get interphase in another activity that I usually do to accompany this. It's called a word search. So if you are wondering how I create the word search, I will link that video below too. So interphase will become part of the word search. That all of the terms are on the penguins. The next step that I do is I print it out and I color it in. So let me do that and then I will get the printed out version. So I printed it out and the next step is I color it in. I could flip-flop the next two steps where you'll see, but you're going to create a table and definitions and put the colors that correspond to the terms next to the definition. I did it once that way and the colors looked absolutely ridiculous. So I scratched that whole thing and now I print it out first, so the blank version with just the terms on it. I color it so that it looks good and then I go back to the table. So let me color this and I will be right back. I finished the coloring. Here it is. What I'm going to do is upload this onto the Google slideshow so that you can see how I'm going to use this to complete the next part. So let me do that. So I uploaded the picture so you can see how I'm going to use the colors to create the next part. So the finished product, this is going to be the front page of the worksheet and this is going to be the back page. So let me move this. Can I move this? This is annoying. Wait, let me close it. There we go. So let me actually bring this slide up so you can see. So this will be front page, back page. This will be deleted. I usually keep this as part of the slideshow just so that I have it for reference. So on the second page, which will be the back of this page of the penguins, we are going to insert a table. We have 12 terms, I believe, on the penguins. So that means we need 12 rows and 2 columns. So 12 by 2. And I'm going to move this over. And we actually need an additional row. I forgot. There we go. Insert row. Okay. So for our title. So color definition. All of these terms, instead of being on this side or like in this column, it's just going to be the color now. So for example, let's take this first term, the cell cycle. Let's make a definition for the cell cycle. So cell cycle, a series of events. A cell goes through as it grows and divides. Perfect. If I can spell it correctly, that would be great. Okay. Now we look on here, we find cell cycle right here. So that means next to the cell cycle definition, we put purple. This way the students will see the definition, they'll read it and say, oh, okay, that is the cell cycle. So I have to color the cell cycle purple. And I go through and I do that for every single term. So the next term is mitosis. So mitosis, division of the nucleus. We go here. Let's find mitosis. Mitosis is right here and it is red. So we write red. So when a student looks, they find the word mitosis and they know this part of the picture will be red. So the next one, G1 phase. So this is a phase of cell cycle during which a cell does most of its work. So that's G1. So we would find G1 green, light greens to be specific. Light green. So a student would read this definition, say, okay, I have to color that light green. That is G1 phase. So right here, I color this light green. I go through and I complete this chart for every single term using this as a guide. This is why I like to color it first, because like I said, I did it the reverse one time and I did all of the colors trying to eyeball it and it didn't work. So this time I do the colors first. And some of the terms have the same color, and that is totally fine. Like for instance, anaphase and prophase are both blue, and so is telophase. That is totally fine. And then sometimes I have the same word multiple times, like S phase. So S phase is always going to be orange, but it is located multiple times on the penguins. That does not mean I put it multiple times on the definition. So there will just be one S phase definition. It will be orange, and they will color in S phase 4 times. This is how I make my coloring activity resource. So again, this is the one that we just made, and this is one of the ones that is posted on Teachers Pay Teachers. This is Frosty. So it takes about an hour from start to finish to make that resource. If you don't want to do it on your own, you can just go find my Teachers Pay Teachers store. I will link it down below. These coloring worksheets right here, these are part of activity packets that I have on Teachers Pay Teachers. So the packet is $4. There's 4 different activities and the coloring worksheet is just one. But that is how you make them. My students really enjoy it. They like coloring. It's not as easy as you think. And it's not as easy as the students think. It really makes them think, and they get so frustrated when they get a color wrong. But they have fun with it. That means I have fun with it, and I enjoy it in the classroom. All right, so take care, have a great day, and happy teaching.